We're on number 82, the NIMBY fallacy. So not in my backyard. All right, Alan, take it away.
Let's go. The NIMBY fallacy, NIMBY, not in my backyard. Also, build a wall, lock them up, and throw away the key. The ostrich strategy, the Gitmo solution. Gitmo. Gitmo what? The infantile fallacy that a problem, challenge, or threat that is not physically nearby or to which I am not directly exposed has, for all practical purposes, gone away and ceased to exist. Thus, a problem can be permanently and definitively solved by making it go away, preferably to some place out of sight, a walled off ghetto or a distant isle where there is no news coverage and where nobody important stays. Lacking that, it can be made to go away by simply eliminating, censoring, or ignoring negative media coverage and public discussion of the problem and focusing on positive, encouraging things instead. Yeah, I feel like where I do this one is with taxes and debt. It's like if I just don't look at my, it's like if I don't look at my bank app, then it's like I don't see the debt, therefore it doesn't exist, and I can go focus on other things. I feel like a lot of people do that actually. Yeah, yeah, I this one. I feel like it's like proximity. It's like if something isn't in our proximity, then we forget about it, or people who have been diagnosed with based off behavioral tendencies get diagnosed with what science or society calls ADHD. It's like if I don't have something out in front of me, then I'm going to forget about it. I think it's like it's uh it's one of those things that like banks on utilizing normal human behavior and then uses it for a not great purpose. It's like if I was wanting to manipulate someone or I wanted to get my way, knowing that if I just take something painful out of their awareness, it'll keep them from addressing it. That would be something that would be an easy thing to do. Um, yeah, I have not really seen myself use this towards others, but definitely on myself because I'd rather avoid discomfort. Like I've done that all the time.
I try to remind myself of uh, the sucky things in the world as regular as possible. Um, that as no, yeah, and uh, one would be like fear of death. Um, I think about that all the time, and I want to take advantage of what I have right now. And I don't think a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
Because if people aren't physically dying around them, they like don't think about it.
Yeah.
Um, or and then when somebody dies, they're like, my whole life is upside down, and like people are welcome to grieve in however way they want to. But um, for me, I like to then celebrate the life that they had as soon as possible. Because for me, I'm like, I'm already prepared for Alan to die. I'm prepared for my significant other to die. Like, it's gonna happen. Um, so
Yeah.
that's important. Um, Also that how privileged we are, where we are. Um, if sometimes if somebody says first world problems too much, I like to give them a little reality check, and I'm like, hey, do you know how many children are starving to death every day? Let's take a guess. And it's not the guess that it is. Do you remember? I told you how many children starve to death every day, literally every single day. Do you remember?
No, I don't remember the
You
number.
want to take a guess?
Every day.
Literally, yeah, every day.
I'm planet Earth.
Yeah,
How many children die of starvation every day? I've seen annual stats. I want to say every day, 20,000?
10,000. It's 20.
10,000.
It's 25 people, 25,000 people. But of those 25,000 people, 10,000 of those are children. And like, I don't know if you've ever seen 10,000 people in like one spot. but like,
The stadium.
yeah, that's a lot of people. And
Yeah.
then imagine sitting there for an entire day and watching all of those people starve to death. And then the next day, another batch of 10,000. And then the next, like, that's nuts. Like, we need to fix that.
Yeah. Well, this is actually bringing up one more thing for me on this one is like a big one that a big one that I think I definitely have heard this example of, and I practiced this example for a bit to now, which I do my best to confront it every day. So one, death is something that I think about frequently in those, and I really try to take seriously those who have died and what their lives taught me and what their deaths taught me. But then also, another one that I think happens often is how people will choose where to live based off of the amount of homeless people they see or don't see. Where they'll say like, "Oh, I don't want to go there because the homeless people, there's a lot of them," something like that. And it's like, I remember there was a time, and I think I've shared this on a previous episode, but there was a time where uh, there was a time where I really had a hard time, and still do. It's still difficult for me. I still have to make a conscious choice to do it. But there was a time where it was so difficult to look at homeless people that I wouldn't. And I began to ask myself the question,
Particularly beggars, because you're talking to me right now.
yeah,
You,
yeah,
you
yeah,
look at me just fine.
yeah, yeah, yeah. People who are begging on the side of the road. And when I, in looking at those people, I started to ask myself, why do I have a hard time looking at them? And what the conclusion I came to is because the moment I looked at them and considered them as human beings, it immediately showed me how any problems in my own life were bullshit. It's like anytime I could look at my life and say, my life sucks, or it's hard, or it's whatever. As soon as I would look at them, it reminded me of all how untrue that was. It was like, nah, dude, it's like you may not be able to go and afford new clothes right now, but you at least live inside of a home with air conditioning and a computer and internet and water and food. Like, you've got it pretty good. And every time I would look at someone who was on the side of the road begging, it would remind me. It's like, oh yeah, that's right. There's more room to be grateful here. And so I changed a practice where I every time I make any type of money, I will pull out of the money that I make. I'll pull out 10% of that money in cash and then leave that in my wallet. And if I have the cash on me, if I see someone on the side of the road, my intention both is to look at them, but like not just like look at them, look away, but like connect with them and then help them and as best as I can. And if I don't have money, I'll say something encouraging or whatever it might be. But I remember there was this woman who uh, she begs on the side of the road close to where we live. And every time I saw her, facial expression and body language wise, shame was the primary emotion that she was emoting. And something in me was like, man, like I think this is someone who went through something really awful, and this was like most people, I would guess this was her last option. And so just a few days ago, I was kind of like thinking on it, and I was like, I want to do something to help this person. And so I don't normally do this, but I decided to give the entire 10% of what I made to this person, but not just like hand it to them in a car. I wanted to like go connect. So Amanda and I, we got the money, got into the car, drove nearby in a parking lot, walked over to her, and went to go talk to her and like communicate and be like, hey, can you tell us your story? Can you tell us how you got in this situation? How are you doing? Can we get you something else? And then just like got to talk with this person, and it was she was again perfectly normal human being. The primary thing that she had ran into in her life is that she ran into a series of difficult situations and ran out of people that were willing to help in her life. She didn't have a lot of friends, didn't have a lot of family, and so when hardship after hardship hit her, there wasn't a community for her to fall back on when things got really hard. And so it was just like little things like that, and it helped me to have more compassion, more care, because otherwise, it's like I think we're inclined to not in my backyard. We're inclined to, well, it makes me uncomfortable, so I'd rather just pretend it doesn't exist. But much like yourself and reminding yourself like how many kids are starving every single day, it's like I really do try to, if something isn't in my backyard that does exist, I try to expose myself to it and get in commune with it as much as possible. And personally, it's yielded, if we look at, there's emotional outcomes and spiritual outcomes and all these things we can look at, but personally, like how it has impacted me is it creates a lot of drive for me. It creates a lot of drive for me to not buy my own limiting shit. It gives me a lot of drive to not allow excuses to stop me from taking action. But then it also creates a lot of drive for me to create big, magnificent things that ultimately bring prosperity and solutions to people who need it most. And I don't think I would have that if I didn't spend time connecting with those people. I would just sit in an ivory tower somewhere, just happy with the way my life is, not caring about other people's. So it was, yeah, that's the not in my backyard. That one hits home for me.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, yeah, that feels good for me.
Feels good for me. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, man, thanks for having me. I appreciate you. Love you. Can't wait to see you in September. Um, yeah, we'll see you next week. It's gonna be a good time.
Yes, I'll see you then. Bye bye.